Hello everybody, I'm Ard, and welcome to my first in a new mod pack series revolving around Glacial Awakening, where you wake up in a tiny, claustrophobic, small cube at the bottom of a giant glacier. Now, I'm doing this pack because A, it's significantly smaller than Enigmatica, and B, because it uses a whole bunch of mods I'm not familiar with, even though it's still 1.12. It centers around, or at least early on, Hearthwell and Roots, which are both completely foreign to me. It does tail into some mechanical mods later on that are fairly bog standard, especially if you come from Enigmatica, but this is at least a relatively new experience for me. So this is another quest-driven mod pack, kind of like Enigmatica, but it follows a much more rigid structure than Enigmatica itself does. As you can see, we have several chapters over here on the left, as well as some challenges, and what is a mostly linear path to get to the end of each chapter. As you can see, this is generally repeated in each chapter as we go down. But let's get started on this so that I can hurry up and get to a pickaxe so I can make this room a whole lot less claustrophobic. And the first quest just tells you that you're stuck in alone. Done. Followed by go get some cave roots. Also done. Now you note that chopping all of the ones down in here only gave me 12, and that's because we have to grow some more. To grow more of them, you just take them and put them in a crafting grid to double them, basically. But that finishes this up and gives us an apple. That said, we're just going to keep eating the cave roots for now. Now the important part with these is you can just put them down and break them, and that will just de facto double them. So we don't have to actually just grow these. And we do have ore excavation, so we can break them all at once. Now that we have a healthy supply of the cave roots, the next step is to create plant fibers, which requires taking the cave roots and tossing it into water, which is below us. So excuse me while I tediously punch through these walls to get below the ice and create a little path down. Okay, and you find water as soon as you hit real actual ice. I'm only about 10 blocks down from where I started. You only have to tediously punch through 2 stone blocks that you can't actually easily get through without a pick. And once you're here, you take your cave roots, these ones, not these ones, and just huck them into the water. And out come a bunch of plant fibers, which let's just finish this step and get a couple more apples. Now to expand, we're going to want to make some more torches. And to make torches, you use an existing torch to create a stick by tossing it in water, and you can use that to make a drying rack to then make more torches from plant fibers. Seems kind of a convoluted way to go about getting your sticks, but... And now that we have our 2 sticks, we can then make the drying rack and just pop it anywhere on the wall right now. And toss some roots on there and let that slowly process. But while we wait for that, let's open up the next quest in the line, which is to repeatedly punch permafrost till we get granite. Oh, here I didn't miss skyblock at all. So I apparently did something wrong when I broke this block. You just hold down shift and then punch it. I don't know how I managed to break a block while holding down shift and doing this, because this apparently works just fine. But we have enough to complete this, which gives us a piece of gravel, which I'm sure is about to become important. But now we can actually make a pickaxe, which involves 2 pieces of granite, a stick, and some plant fibers, so we just need our torches. And I just realized my mistake by putting up cave roots instead of plant fibers. So that wasn't very smart. Alright, got enough for the torches. We can complete that. And now we can make the crude pickaxe. And now I can finally make this place a little less claustrophobic. But we might as well take our free armor and our free chests. Okay, that only took 3 of these crude pickaxes to clear out this tiny little room. I forgot how terrible these were. This is the second time I've tried playing this mod pack, by the way, but I didn't get much further than the opening. But now we should probably move forward. And I don't know, let's maybe make the shovel now, because this should be just as easy. And done with the shovel, which gives us more gravel. And from there, we can make a compacting bin to smash it with the shovel we just made, which is probably the only viable use of the shovel right now, to make blocks. And the compacting bin is just made from a bunch of permafrost. And it's used at this point to turn all of these rocks we're getting into actual proper blocks. Except I just realized we haven't actually made the crafting table, which is required to make it. And the crafting table requires a bunch of planks, which we can't get. Or cave roots and permafrost. So there, problem solved, both finished. Cookies. And now we use that compacting bin to be able to make some flint, which we can get from gravel. So we just take our rocks, just toss them in like that, and just start smacking with the shovel until you get your blocks. Now that we have our blocks of gravel, we can craft a flint, which gives us some boots because we're in so much danger being attacked down here. But this will ultimately let us upgrade to the actual next tier of pickaxe, the flint pickaxe. And to do so, we need to make a granite anvil, which is just a piece of granite turned into an anvil. But we can't actually make real granite, we can only make cobbled granite, which is all of these rocks in a crafting table to make that, which we can then take there and turn into the anvil and slap that down. From there, we take our flint, put it on there, and start right-clicking it with the pickaxe we have, which gives us flint shards. And these flint shards can be used to make better tools. Durability of 150 versus durability of 32. Still not amazing, but still better than what we had. And yes, I'm kind of just rushing through this because we really want to break through to get to the surface, and this isn't all that complicated. This is mostly just scut work. And now that we have a better pickaxe, we can go do the mini freezer, which requires 2 snow blocks. And as the quest guide says, if you can't find it, dig up. So we can start building a stairway upwards, which is where we need to go anyways. I only had to dig like 10 to 12 blocks to find snow, but the important part here, and the part that actually blocks you, is you come up a little bit further and there's a big huge sheet of obsidian above us that's stopping us from going any higher. This is what stops us from just escaping the glacier right now. Making snow is the same as making the flint. You just toss it in the compacting bin, smack it with the old shovel again, and you get snow blocks. And now that we have that, we have the freezer. And we use the freezer to turn heavy snow into ice crystals. And the heavy snow is made by turning snowballs into heavy snowballs inside the freezer itself. So you can see them slowly freezing in the freezer right now. And these are used to make the heavy snow. And after a short trip back upstairs to get a bunch more snow, so I can get 4 heavy snow, we put this back in the freezer. And out comes the ice crystal, which gets us the book for roots. But we'll come back to that in a minute. Because first we need to go do Harvest Terra Moss, which requires making a stone knife from cobbled granite and right-clicking the mossy cobblestone that was in this room. And the stone knife is pretty easy to make. It's just 2 cobbled granite and a stick. And you just right-click the mossy cobblestone. Deep fried veggies. And now they want us to grow some cave roots down until we get a blue sprout. That's going to be tedious until we get it, I suppose. At least it doesn't seem to take too terribly long to grow. It's only been a few seconds and I've already got 2 of them growing, but we filled up this room as much as I could. I could probably go up the staircase as well if I really was desperate. I'm not that desperate yet. And of course I get a black one before I get a blue one. And a white one. And, put things starting up the stairwell because I got that desperate. But let's pop that off the wall so we can continue. And now we need to create something that I have no idea how to pronounce. Stalacreep? I suspect that's probably wrong. But this is Roots pyre crafting type stuff. To do this we need to make a fire starter and a pyre to start with. The pyre is just terra moss and some sticks. And the fire starter is a flint shard, some plant fiber, and a rock. To make the Stalacreep we just had to go burn a bunch of things. So we need a flint, an ice crystal, which we've got, blue dye, which is what we needed the blue root for, dried plant fibers, and a terra moss. You see this in my hand? This is what happens when you forget to hit the record button. So we're doing this again because I love you all. To craft the Stalacreep, what you do is you right click all of the items onto the pyre like you would like a Botania altar, and then you set it all on fire. And wait a second. And out pops your item. And the next thing we need to make is spell dust in a mortar with a pestle. And the mortar is just permafrost, as well as the pestle. The spell dust we'll get to in a minute. I apparently don't love you all this enough because I just did it again. But it works exactly the same as the pyre. You just put the items into the mortar and then use the pestle on it. And to make the spell dust was just really simple. The hardest part is the Stalacreep and then just black dye from the black root. Which brings us to the penultimate quest before we can get ourselves out of this cave and get into the mod proper. And that's making our basic spellcasting gear, starting with our staff, which is just sticks and some moss, an imbuer, which is sticks and a cobblestone, and a component pouch, which is dried fibers and some roots. If you've never eaten any of the colored roots, this is what they do. They change your color. To do this, you just put the imbuer down, right-click your staff into it, and right-click the spell dust, and it starts to power it up. It pops off when it's done. And with this, we come back up to the obsidian layer, cackle maniacally, and realize we don't have the Stalacreep in our component pouch, and it's a good thing I made extras, huh? Having totally not walked all the way back to the bottom of the staircase to go get it, we right-click the component pouch, toss the Stalacreep into it, take our staff back out, cackle maniacally, and right-click. And very exciting, it's done. And we just keep smashing the obsidian until we're out. Now I do want to note that Do not forget that this obsidian layer is here and that you can use this to get obsidian at any point you need it. So don't forget that because it'll come in handy later. Also, be aware that you can't use the obsidian and go to the nether. You can't actually get to the nether in this pack. The Hearthwell mod generally blocks it, and it's not part of this. So I forgot about how annoying this part was. Anytime you break some ice, it turns into water and you have to deal with it. And any torches you place will also melt ice, which will cause problems further down. So I do want to note that once you've managed to clear out the water by replacing it, the ice blocks that turned into it with other blocks, you can use the stalactite to clear out any ice on your surrounding walls without actually turning it into water, to replace it with blocks. You can also use it to mine things you weren't actually ready to mine, like nuclear craft ores, up until you run out of your stalactite. Okay, so I packed up all my gear, put the armor on, because I'm getting ready to break through to the surface, but it's nighttime, so I've got to wait that out, because there's still stuff up there and it's dangerous. I do want to note that the spell component pouch can be used to store any items in it, so you can use this as easy storage to help pick up a bunch of your stuff. I was still pretty full up when I started coming up here, and I had to throw a couple minor things out though. But now we play the waiting game. Alright, it's daytime, we're up at dirt level, let's go see if anything dangerous is up on the surface. And we made it, and there's an astral sorcery temple. But there's mobs all over, so now we need to get away from this. And with this, we have now escaped into an Arctic wasteland. But now, we can actually start building a proper base, but that's for next time. And then we can explore a little bit, because I think I saw a building up that way, and we might find something useful around here as well. And reindeer. Reindeer are always nice. If you found this video interesting and entertaining, please consider leaving a like or subscribing if you're new. As always, I'm Ard. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.